Well, welcome everybody to our webinar Wednesday on a Tuesday this week. So happy March. And we're excited today to have Holly Halverson here. She's our fantastic support staff in our center that is our 4-H online specialist, and she knows all your questions, and if not, she could get those answered for you. And so this session just kind of stemmed from, we had a lot of questions that came in during basic 4-H and just over the past few months. And so I thought it was time we just do a session just on 4-H online. And I appreciate everybody putting their questions in the Google form so Holly could go ahead and get those addressed and know the answers to them right now. And then also she took questions from basic 4-H as well that we had gathered a few months ago. So she's going to start out with like a PowerPoint presentation to address the questions that she already had, and then we'll open it up for other questions. But before that, I just want to do a little advertisement for our other webinar Wednesdays coming up. In April, on April 26th, scheduled for right now, that date could change like for a week or so to it, but it'll be the end of April or the first part of May. We're doing American Income Life. That's a repeat from last year with Aaron Bain. We always have questions about insurance, and so that's a good time to get those questions answered. And so we have new faces, and then if you've been here since last year too, you might need a refresher. So American Income Life at the end of April with Aaron Bain. And then in May, get excited because Sam Lawman is going to talk to you about getting ready for your achievement days and county fairs, all the things that you might need to know. So have some questions ready for Sam on May the 10th for our webinar Wednesday. And then we'll take off the summer and take a break and then come back in the fall. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to Holly. She should be able to share her screen and we'll get going. And if you want to put questions in the chat box, I can have those as well. But if not, you can open your mic at the end as well. So.
Hi. Hopefully just let me know if I go too fast, or if you have any questions, just let me know. Just share my screen real quick. Can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Dustin. As of right now, as of today, I should say, North Dakota has about 5,122 club members, 1,336 clover buds, 1,291 volunteers, for a total of 7,749 total enrollments just for this year. There are currently 219 incomplete enrollments, and I will need every county's help to try to complete those enrollments. To find out if your county has an incomplete enrollment, please go to the participation tab, which is on the left-hand side, to make sure the program year is 2022-2023 and the status has incomplete. The search will bring up the members, volunteers, and clover buds that have incomplete registration. I ask that you please either call, email those families to encourage them to complete their registration, help those families to see why they're incomplete, or if they decide not to join 4-H this year. And we can go ahead and delete those. Just to get those numbers to either jump the enrollment, or we can just delete them and they can try again for next year. Just so that we have that number lower. A lot of questions that we've had this year is how families can, sorry, let me just move this, resetting the 4-H online account password. If the family has forgotten their 4-H online password, they need to click reset password on their login screen. They need to enter their email address and click the reset button. Families should check their email account and then click the password button and the email they'll receive. A lot of times families, a lot of these emails will go into their spam folder, so they'll also need to check their spam folder. You on the county level can also check or reset their password. And that's right here in the top, the reset family button, if they're still having trouble. And then once that, you want to hit confirm. Oops. I've gotten a lot of questions lately about how to create a report. One of the questions that they emailed ahead of time was how to find what youth were in the GROW project. So I just kind of created a report step by step on what youth were in the GROW project. So if you want to create a custom report, you go to the custom reports on the left-hand side. You add the folder type, and that's right here. You add a report and click add. I've named mine the 2023 GOAT projects. You can name it however you want. Mine is just very basic. Oops. I also name mine the folder name and the custom report name. I always name them the same thing. You can name them however you want. I just name them the same just because it's easier for me. I never add a description or the Excel work title, but you can also do those. Once you've created the folder and the report, you want to click add. And here's how you build your report. So you want to make sure if it's for this year, you want to make sure that the program year is for 2022, 2023. Your hierarchy will be your county. And then to build your report, you want to go to your report columns, which is on the right-hand side. So once you hit edit, that's where you're going to go and build your report. So this is where you're going to want to put, if you want the youth name, so you want to do the first, last name.
Hey, Holly, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing where you're clicking when you're doing some of those things. So if you want to circle it just so I could see.
Oh, yep. Okay. Whoops. Thanks for letting me know. So right here is where you want to go. Let me see if I did not fill or do a picture, but right here is where you want to go and put your, however you want to build a report. But this one I did first name, last name. I did county. You can do family email address. You can do, there is a long list of things that you can do. You can do parents' name, guardian's name, anything. There's a long list of items, but I just did family or first name, last name, county name. And then over here, the standard filters, which, oops, sorry. The standard filters is how I went in to see how you're going to create your report. Include all years. If you want a report of how many years they have been in the project area for goats. If you want the last 5 years, you can include that. Enrollment years. I want to know if they're an active member in 4-H for this current year. I want to know that they're approved members. You can also put, if you want to know when they enrolled, their 4-H year, their school year, their county, their enrollment county, their 4-H club, and here's where you can enter their projects. So it's this one is by animal science. So it's by goats, so it's dairy animal, and then here is by meat. So I had to pick both of them. You can also do it by all animal science, but you'd have to pick one. You'd have to go pick each animal science. So you'd have to do horse, beef. You'd have to pick all of those project areas to get the report you'd like. So far, does anyone have any questions? So once you get this, then you'll you can go ahead and there's either you can download it as an Excel or as a PDF. And if that looks like that is not the report you would like, you can always go back in and try different things in your files to see how you would like it. I've gone back and put other information in there if that's what the specialist would like. You could also, because I know like I do a lot for Dr. Hoffman for goats and sheep. And so I always email a bunch of them to the goat and sheep families. So all I use is the family email addresses, who is in the goat projects, who's in the sheep project, and I pull up all of those names who are in those projects in North Dakota, and then I email those out to all those families. So if there's a flyer that he wants the families to know about, that gets sent to all those families in North Dakota. So once you get the report and you want to send, like if you're having a workshop or anything and you would like something for all those goat families to know about a webinar or a project that you're doing for goats, then you can send this email list out as a broadcast email. So this is where you would do it. So there is right when you do after you're done creating your report and you've downloaded everything, there's also, you could do a broadcast email from the same report. So here's the information that you would like to do it. So you could do your title. I just use the same title again. You could use like goat webinar. You could use it for the same as the title and the subject. You're going to send it to the families. And then here's where you would want to build your broadcast email. You're going to want to edit it, and then you're going to build your report. So you're going to want to compose your email message. So you want to use a format bar to format everything. So once you hit this edit button, it will open up and you can format your email. So you can always go and copy and paste if you have an email with all of this information. You can add images. You can create links to put in this. So once you're finished composing your message, click the save button. Attachments may also be added to broadcast emails. Click the upload button and select the file from your computer that you want to attach the message. You can also use pictures. And so once that's done, click send, and then it will also give you a report on this, and it will show you who opened your broadcast email, all the ones that the emails were dropped. It will also show you when this email was sent. So you will have all of that information on there for you. Okay, does anyone have any questions about custom reports? I know I kind of went over that kind of fast.
Holly, this is Dustin. A quick question: when you are creating the report, are you able to select multiple options at one time, or is it just click on one, send it to the right-hand column, click on one, send it to the right-hand column?
For projects?
Irrespective of whichever one, whether it's on things, members or projects, etc.
You have to click at one at a time. That's and drag it over. Does that answer your question?
That answers my question. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Here's one of the questions that was asked on the thing that Megan sent out. Is there a way to filter dual club member information? Example, a 4-H member who is in the horse club and shooting sports club. Leaders from both clubs want an enrollment listing of their clubs, but they don't see all of the members if they are participating in other club activities. This is Chrissy's response from 4-H Online. You can create a report that lists the club name and primary club name fields along with other info you need. The system cannot filter based on two different fields based equally or not equally. Example, it cannot filter the report, only leaving those records where the club name is not equally to the primary club's name, but a manager can at least see that information visual on a custom report. Dual clubs is hard on 4-H Online. The only thing you can really do is make a custom report. They're trying to make it better. I don't know when that will ever happen, but they've been working on it. I know for a lot of states, that's what they've been pushing, is for them to make dual counties better. This is one of them. I know Lemoore has a lot of dual clubs, but their suggestion is always to make a custom report so you can see what youth are in dual clubs. I don't see 4-H Online fixing it anytime soon, but it has been made. 4-H Online does know about it. And I don't know how fast it'll be changed. Does anyone have any? Yeah.
There is a question in the chat box. Michelle said, I have 3 members that are enrolled in 2 counties.
Mhm.
Where do I find that information? Burke and Divide.
So what you'll need to do is make a custom report. And you'll have to put in there, I'm just trying to think, I have to think about it. Sorry, I have
a comment on what I do for Lemoore County.
okay, go ahead.
So I have kids who are in 2 Lemoore County clubs and then who are also in Lemoore County and Stutzman County. And when I make my custom reports, the columns that I use are primary unit and then unit name. So that primary unit, when it comes through as a yes or a no. So that way I see all of the clubs that they're enrolled in. And this includes like my, if they're enrolled in a Stutzman County club or a Lemoore County club. And then I get that yes or a no. So I know which ones they're primary and what ones are listed as secondary. So it looks confusing, but once you filter by kid name, then it filters out and you can see all of the clubs they're enrolled in.
Thank you, Tori.
Michelle, does that help? Okay.
One of the questions was to go over, to walk through entering of animals on 4-H Online. I am not going to do that. Diane Hahn has had some Zooms already about that, and she'll have another one on March 22nd at 9 o'clock. For those who would like to go over that more. There are a couple other questions. Is there a way to enter YQCA certification information into individual profiles? There is. That is under the training section. Right now, you cannot enter anything. That part is not working. I sent a help ticket into 4-H Online this morning. I hope to get it fixed by this afternoon. So once that is fixed, you can go in and enter that information on there. You can also, if you do not want to add that information, you can also ask Samantha Lahman, who has taken the YQCA certification for your county, and she can give you those reports. Let's see what other ones. I know there's been some questions about dropped emails. A lot of emails that 4-H Online has said is that people are opting out of some of the emails that they're getting. If that is what has happened, that they'll need to go in to their settings and opt into those emails. So that's why some of the people are not getting newsletters or emails. So if that has happened, they'll just need to go in and get that fixed. Does anyone have any questions? I'm open to any questions. It's kind of the only questions we've had.
So Michelle said some of the emails are going to junk mail. Know anything about that?
Just add them to your safe sender. That's all the suggestion 4-H Online has said.
This is Dustin again. Say, I haven't used the option, but when you use the broadcast mode or the broadcast option, I mean, through 4-H Online, there is an option on there that you can tick for sent to unsubscribed, and it will send an email to all profiles, including those that have opted out of broadcast emails.
Yes.
So, I mean, if someone's worried that somebody may have unsubscribed, you could click that option, but.
Yes. Thank you, Dustin.
So Holly, I sent you those 2 questions this morning and I read your email. So really there's no way of just taking the older, like non-enrolled from like, I don't know, there's some in there from there. And I want to clean it up and streamline my list. And I know that you can put in the date and it'll just pull up those, but they drive me crazy. That's the only thing.
And they said for just for accurate records, that's why they're still there. And that's why for all of your archived members, they're still going to be there because they're history records. They're not going to go away. They're annoying, but that's what they're there for. So anytime a past 4-H member wants to know what they did and what projects they did in 4-H, you guys can go back and look that up for them. That's why they're still there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. There are a bunch of help sheets on the Google Drive. Under help documents, there's a folder for families and there is a folder for counties. They are redoing all of the help documents slowly. So once I see that they've been updated, I go and change them, or they've created new ones. I go and they'll let us know and they are added to the folders. There hasn't been any since February, but once I do see them, I do update those.
I do have one. I was looking and you were asking about registrations and the ones that were incomplete. I do have one. Oh gosh, hold on. I got to get back there. But he is like complete. The mom decided not to do it and everything. So can I go in there and delete him out then and take him out? Or do you have to do that?
The state will have to do it.
Okay, so I just need to send you the name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, when 2.0 rolled out, they made it so that the state has to do some of that kind of stuff. It really should be on the county level, but unfortunately, it's the state level. And one other thing that we've had a lot about is if someone moves from another state to North Dakota, there is the help sheet on our Google Drive under the county section. It's the family that needs to go and do that. It's not the county level or it's not the state level. It's actually the family that has to go in and look at those instructions. And they're the ones that have to go in through their account to make those, do those steps to move from that state to North Dakota. And those instructions are on the Google Drive. Any other questions?
You know, I will have them as soon as they come up. I just can't think of anything else, but I know there's a whole list of it.
You can always send me an email. 4-H Online is a lot better now at responding a lot faster.
Holly, this is Diane.
Mhm.
I just wanted to share about the families entering their animals online. That is open for them to do. I did send a help document, like a generic help document for 4-H Online to guide families, but I'm working with Sam Lawman on one that we'll have kind of customized to North Dakota that we can use, you know, year after year. But it is open. Families can enter their animals. The only thing that's not set up yet is poultry. And the reason for that is it's pretty complicated. And again, I'm working with Sam to get that figured out. But I would encourage everyone to have families start doing that. You know, it's an educational piece for all of our youth to learn some of those things that they require when you enter those animals in 4-H Online. So approach it that way. It is something that, again, is a learning experience for them. And that is really what we're about. But if there's anybody that needs help, you can contact me. And is there anybody on the line right now in your counties where you have been having your families enter those, and just to share how it's been going?
I think Rachel has a question. Rachel?
Diane, I did have a couple of families get started on, I'm sorry, my voice is kind of cracking up, get started on their beef critters, and they weren't able to put in their market beef.
Okay, I did change the date on that, Rachel, because the original date was March 1st, so it has been
Yes.
changed. So
Okay.
I think they should be able to go in there and do it now. I bumped that date back to April 1st. So have them go ahead and try it again. Let me know if it doesn't work.
I will do that.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks.
I have a question regarding going back to the members in other states.
Mhm.
Because we're a border county, this fall, we had quite a few 4-H members. They were in 4-H Online, but on the Minnesota side. And then they wanted to join a Richland County archery club. And I ended up just having them create a new profile with a separate family email, if they had a work email. Is
Mhm.
that what you would suggest?
You know how many you have?
Oh, there was quite a few,
Okay.
10. And I finally just got to the point where I said, if you've got a work email, just use a different email and create a new 4-H Online account for North Dakota.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Unless they really want the history of the information from Minnesota.
I'm not sure why they would, just because it's archery and
Okay. I would say that's fine.
okay. Just checking.
Yeah, I think they would be fine.
We have a couple of questions in the chat box. So Diane, is the beef deadline set back to 4/1/2023? Does that mean they must enter before April 2023?
Thanks for that. Thanks, Sherelle. Yes, it does mean they need to enter those before that, but we can change that a little bit. So if everyone thinks that it needs to be bumped back a little further, just because of the timing of all this, we can bump it to April 30th, and that would give your families a little more time. After that, if they don't get it in by the deadline, that means you, as the county manager, you have to enter all that information. So it is best if they do it. First and foremost, because of the education for our youth. And second, it will take some work off of your plate. Millie said, yes, bump it to April 30th.
And Sherelle said, what's the purpose of the deadline, Diane?
Well, I think it's just like all our deadlines that we have for state fair and all of that. They should know what animal they're having, what they're going to be using for their 4-H project. Certainly by a deadline date. The state fair does require a deadline. So that's kind of the reason, if that makes sense.
And Diane's 100% correct on that. Those are really to help meet the ownership deadlines that are put in place. So that's kind of where the original deadline came from. So thank you, Diane, for reiterating that.
Let's see,
Yeah, I
Lynette,
see.
Lynette said, I believe it's only market beef is breeding beef is May the 1st deadline. We just need to have a date longer for submitting. And then Annette was wondering, Diane, is there a cheat sheet for this?
Yes, I did send out the generic, like I said, but I'll send it again while I'm working with Sam to finalize our customized one. So if that would be helpful for everybody, I'll send out the generic and it just guides families on how to do it. It actually is very simple and straightforward. Some families, youth can use the same animal. That's not a problem. It only has to be entered once. And then we can put on a setting like at the fair level that says siblings can share the animals.
I want to jump back to a question. I don't want to miss this kind of before it gets lost. So Brenda was asking, I think Holly maybe, can you share a link with these help pages, please? Is there a link you can put in the chat box for the help pages?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't want to miss out on Brenda.
On
And then,
these recordings or?
Brenda, are you talking about the recordings or the sheets or both? She said help page, so maybe just the pages.
Okay, yep.
The sheets, she said the sheets for animals in 4-H online. A link to that. Okay, and then Amber, I think this is for Diane. They are not able to edit the animal after the deadline, correct? And there's different deadlines for different species.
Okay, the family is not able to edit the animal after that family deadline. Only the manager can do it, which is you at the county level. They cannot. And we do have different deadlines, but I really feel like they should be the same for all the species. Market would be one deadline and then the breeding animals another. Doesn't that sound right, Leanne?
Yeah, Monica put them in there. So March 1st is market beef, May 1st for other animals. So she did make a good suggestion that maybe that May 1st or a little bit after is probably a good range to put that in for making a deadline. That way, once they get their animals, they have some time to put that information in.
Okay, well, we can change them all to May 1st or May 15th, whichever you think is most appropriate.
I see a question from Penny Nestor. So Penny said, why do we need to enter it after the deadline? Can the family enter their own info when we get to fair entry?
No, they cannot. So because everything goes through 4-H online now, their animals, it will carry over to fair entry. So once they have their animals entered, before they entered their animals in fair entry, as they were making their entry, now it's already done. So their animals are in there. When they go into fair entry to enter a class, they choose a class. And what happens is, based on the information that they entered in the class they chose for that youth, it will pull up the animals that have been entered in 4-H online, and they can choose which of those animals to enter. Does that make sense, Penny? Okay, thank you. I feel like I kind of hijacked your meeting here, Holly, sorry.
No, go ahead. And then Diane, do you have the help sheet that Brenda needs?
Brenda, I just want to be sure I'm understanding exactly what you want. Are you talking about the guide for families for entering their animals into 4-H online?
Yes, if I could get that, that would be great, because I have
Okay.
my livestock committee
Okay,
ready to enter things in.
okay. I will send that again. And again, remember, it is a generic one. So we are going to make some tweaks and make it North Dakota, but it's still very helpful.
There's some more chat about, I think there needs to be one deadline for everything. Otherwise, it's too much for families to try to keep it straight. And maybe this year, give a little more time when entering, since this is going to be new to some people. Lynette Vockel, I would have a few days, like the 8th or something, so they have time to enter that info, as some may be buying on April 30th and don't have much time. We all have families that wait until 11:59 before the deadline to start putting info in, or maybe it's just her families.
Okay, how about this? I will have a discussion with Samantha and Leanne, and we'll pick a solid deadline, and it will be for all species, for families to enter their animals in 4-H online. And then I will communicate that with everybody once we choose that date. Sound good?
Well, it looks like they're excited about that, Diane. So thanks for sharing all the information. What other questions do people have about 4-H online that you haven't gotten answered, that you're confused about, or Holly can answer now while we're on this meeting? And I can send out the recording, and I'll send out Holly's slideshow as well. And then Diane said that she would send a link to the pages that Brenda was talking about. Anything else? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and end. So thank you everybody for joining in today and participating. And remember, April 26th, the insurance with Aaron Bain, and then May 10th, Samantha Lawman is going to talk about getting your stuff ready for Achievement Days and county fairs. And so thank you for joining us on our webinar Wednesday that we had on a Tuesday this month. So have a good rest of your day.